I feel like I've been reading the Count of Monte Cristo for years at this point. It's actually been more like 6 months, but it's taking me so long to get through this that I've decided I think I'm going to try to finish it in a week. We're currently at September 22nd, and I am like halfway through the book. I have almost exactly 700 pages left, and I think we're going to try to do it in a week. That's like 100 pages a day, and while this is really hard for me to read, like this, I don't know what it is about this font, or if it's like the spacing. Something is very difficult about this for me to read, which is why I switched to the digital version so I can read it on my e-reader. While 100 pages of a different book isn't really a lot for me, I think I might struggle a little bit with it. I'm gonna try it anyway, and I'm recording it so I can kind of hold myself accountable. I don't even know if that's gonna work, but I need to finish this. I need to finish this before December because I'm reading Scavenge the Stars, I think it's called. I don't remember who that's by. Tara Sim? Scavenge the Stars, which is a retelling of Count of Monte Cristo, which is not the reason I was reading this initially, but I want to finish this before I read that retelling. It's just going to be a lot, but I'm going to try. 100 pages a day will put me at the end of this book in a week. I need to paint that. Well, it's the next day. I did read my 100 pages, 100-ish. It was a little bit more than 100 pages that I was supposed to read yesterday, but I didn't update, so I was feeling kind of blech. Woke up this morning. There's a cold going around my family. It looks like it's my turn with the cold. That's what we're dealing with, which means I'm probably not going to get, I marked it like the 100 I'm supposed to read today, but I don't think I'm going to get around to getting all of those done with the way my brain is operating right now. We'll see what I get done. Probably not going to probably not going to reach the goal I was intending when I started this. I'll explain also what Count of Monte Cristo is later, when I can think a little bit better. Okay, I'm like 50 pages into my 100 for the day, but I'm taking a little bit of a break from Count of Monte Cristo because the brain is frying to start on my best friend's Exorcism, which I was supposed to read this month and haven't. But I just wanted to, look at how cool that is. Sorry, this is by Grady Hendrix. Grady Hendrix? Yeah. I've read Horrorstör. Okay, so I have read one thing by them before, but this is so cool. I love the way it's set up. It looks like a yearbook. I love the way it's set up like one. That's actually why I picked up Horrorstör, because it was set up so interestingly as a book. Don't know if I'll like this, but I'll definitely like the format. I love interesting formats. I should probably explain what Count of Monte Cristo is. Hold on. Okay. So about 50 pages to go on Count of Monte Cristo. I hopefully will get that done today. We'll see. If you haven't read Count of Monte Cristo, or you don't know about Count of Monte Cristo, because technically I didn't know anything about this before I started reading it. I looked up like what people's favorite classics were because I was really in a classic mood. I've been in a classic mood for like, I don't know, 5 years or something. Lockdown did something to me, and now like I liked a couple of classics before, but now I'm just like classics. So I looked up like what people's favorite classics were, and this came up so many times. And I knew I'd heard of it, but I didn't really know anything about it. We were following the main character, Edmund? What's his name? We haven't used his real name in such a long time now. I can't remember what his name is. It's Dante's, but what is his first name? Edmund? Edmund, yeah. Okay, so Edmund Dantes is our main character. And at the start of the book, he's coming off of a ship that he works on with the understanding that he might be in is he first mate? I know he's not captain, but he might be first mate to the boat he works for, the company. And he's going to meet his father to tell him the good news, and then his girlfriend, fiance, I don't know if they're engaged or not, but his significant other, and he's going to propose to her, get married to her. He's got this whole thing planned out. And then certain characters, another man on the boat that Dantes works on, thwarts that. He wants to be first mate, so he's like, how can I make sure that Dantes does not get this position that I want? He frames him as a Bonapartist working for Napoleon, which you can't do at this time, at the start of this book. It's not. He gets thrown into jail because of that, and his whole plans are ruined. You get a little bit of him in jail, but then the rest of the book is just him, I guess, exacting his revenge. I guess, like, I'm pretty far into it, and it is him, and he is doing things. But I haven't actually seen everything like culminate into this revenge that I think you can see like him breadcrumbing it along, but I'm assuming there's going to be like an epic wrap up at the end of all this stuff coming to fruition. Okay, still sick, but I'm on the last chapter of the Count of Monte Cristo. So I figured I'd read it on camera and wrap it up and give thoughts afterwards. All the thoughts I can have at the moment, which might not be many. And then I'll also talk about the two the two books I read in between getting through this, because I did manage to knock out 2 other books. See how this ends. That was way too long. I think if I had read an abridged version, this would have been a 3. It's still not really, I think, quite the kind of classic I enjoy. It's a little bit too... I like how it all came together at the end. I'll start there. And I really liked the first, what, like 30 chapters? Yeah, the first maybe like 25 chapters. I really liked. Loved the start. The start was great. The start was super strong. Don't mind my cat jingling. The middle... I didn't like the middle very much, and then there were parts of the end I liked, and then parts where I was just like, okay, I guess if we're gonna do this, you might as well. I don't know if I should give it a 3 anyway. I'm leaning towards a 2, so like a 2.5, which would be a 3 on Goodreads, a 2.5 on Pagebound and Storygraph, because I use all 3. Yeah, in short, this was way too long. I might go back one day and read the abridged version and maybe bump my rating up from there, but I think I'm gonna stick with the 2. This was just, was he paid by the word when this came out? Because I know this came out in like serials, which is why it's so fucking long. I can't curse on YouTube. Can I curse on YouTube? I don't care. I think he was paid. Was he paid by the word? Paid by the page? Because if he was, it shows. My God, the amount of times he went, somebody between this age and this age. It's like, just say how old they are. Just say around so-and-so age. There was even, was it when Haiti was introduced? It said she was like between 16 and 7. No, it wasn't her. It was Valentine. Between 16 and, is she 16 or is she 17? Between 16 and 17, which one is she? Was she between 16? Was that Valentine? Because if she was between 16 and 17, Maximilian is 31. I hope I'm remembering the wrong character. Speaking of inappropriate age gaps, I really hope that one at the end was platonic. Really hope that one at the end was platonic. That whole relationship weirded me out. I didn't like that at all. A lot of the relationships in here weirded me out, actually. I know it's the time period. Ali and Haiti specifically, I was really hoping it would I can't do that. I can't talk about it without spoiling it. But Ali's storyline, I wish had been different. And I guess that's like me in current day thinking of it from that lens rather than the lens it was written in back in the day. When was this published? 18 something? 1840s. Oh, serialized. I'm gonna look up real quick. Paid by the word thing. Hold on. Was Alexandre Dumas? Is it Dumas or Dumas? Is it Dumas? Dumas? Paid by the word. Yeah. Okay. Dumas was paid by the word and therefore motivated to include words that were not strictly speaking necessary to the story. Yeah, I thought so. So yeah, that showed. But at the core of it, I think it just didn't play out how I had hoped it would. I know it's like a story of revenge and everything, and I liked the parts where it all came together and you got to see how the revenge dominoed into itself. But there was just a lot in the middle that I was just like, did we need this? And it bored me. And I think the strongest part of this is the start. I think the start was just so good. The start was 5 stars. The middle was like 1.5 stars. And the ending 2-ish stars. I'm gonna stick with 2 stars. One day I might go back and read an abridged version and see how I feel. But I'm finally done. I don't even know, almost a year later, finally done. While I was reading that, the last half of the book, I don't remember what was going on. It was like a week ago now. I don't remember what was going on a week ago. So what I read while I was reading that was My Best Friend's Exorcism by Grady Hendrix, which I mentioned before because it has the neat format and everything. I was wrong. I have read 2 things by Grady Hendrix. I've read Horrorstör, which I didn't like that much, and I read the Southern something to slaying vampires, something about vampires, something Southern, this one, whatever this one is. Read that one. I like that one a little bit more. I think I gave that one a 3 and I gave Horrorstör a 2. I really, really like Grady Hendrix's writing style. I really like it. It sucks you in and it's just easy to read. And I feel like it's just descriptive enough. And on that note, this was disgusting. This was so fucking gross. And I liked it. I didn't love a lot of the storyline, like to the point where this was a 5-star. Brother Lemon though, chef's kiss, that dude, he was so funny. And the ending got me a little bit. I gave this, I think, a 3.5. 3.5 rounded up to a 4, maybe 3.75. I have to go check what this definitely makes me want to read more from Grady Hendrix. And I know one was just released this year, so I'll have to go check that out. Something about witchcraft or something, which sounds up my alley since I like the Exorcism one a lot. I'll have a more like cohesive bullet point summary of how I felt about this on TikTok, where I post like my library wrap-ups. The other thing I read was The Wife Upstairs by, I can literally turn around and look, hold on. The Wife Upstairs by Rachel Hawkins. That's the other thing I read, which is a modern Jane Eyre retelling with like a horror thriller twist to it that I didn't end up liking very much. Jane Eyre is one of my favorite classics, so it had a lot to live up to, and I enjoyed the way she twisted the story. I did not like the ending. I didn't like the ending at all. If you were going to go like a thriller vibe to a thriller, if you were going to go a thriller direction, I expected something different. It's a little too on the nose to its source material, and I think that's just where it all fell apart for me, which is kind of a strange thing to complain about, because if it's a retelling of something, so I guess you kind of want it to be almost like a 1-for-1, but it was just too, if I hadn't read Jane Eyre, I think I would have liked it more, because I wouldn't have known what was coming. Is that a spoiler? We had a 2-star, a 3.5, 3.75, rounded up to a 4, and another 2-star. I think I gave that 2 stars. That's where I'm ending this. I'm still wheezing, I'm congested. I will end up probably doing more reading vlogs while I'm recovering, but with something a little bit less dense and doesn't require quite as much brain power. That's the end of this one, so thank you for stopping by, and maybe I'll see you next time. Bye.